Now to the debate over gun control, and this is all in the wake, of course, of that tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut. Vice President Joe Biden will be meeting with law enforcement officials today in the first step in President Obama's push for a sweeping new plan to put an end to gun violence. The NRA is set to speak out tomorrow in its first news conference since the tragedy, and ABC's Jake Tapper joins us from the White House with the very latest. Jake, you asked the president yesterday in that news conference, where have you been for the past 4 years on this issue to eradicate semi-automatic weapons?
That's right. Vice President Biden had written that ban into law in 1994. It expired in 2004. The vice president will be meeting today with chiefs of police who support reinstating that ban. And the vice president will also be reaching out to lawmakers to try to come up with post-Newtown solutions.
President Obama had promised the citizens of Newtown meaningful action.
Good morning, everybody.
And in a morning press conference, he explained what that meant. An administration focus on preventing future tragedies by focusing on mental health, culture, education, and gun control.
The fact that this problem is complex can no longer be an excuse for doing nothing. The fact that we can't prevent every act of violence doesn't mean we can't steadily reduce the violence and prevent the very worst violence.
Vice President Biden will head the initial effort with a January deadline for specific recommendations.
This is not some Washington commission. This is a team that has a very specific task to pull together real reforms right now.
The president's already made some demands, calling on Congress to ban the sale of high-capacity ammunition clips and what he called military-style assault weapons, and close the so-called gun show loophole that does not require background checks in many private sales. The tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary appears right now to have been a tipping point for a national conversation about gun violence, one we've not seen in a long time.
They can fire 100 bullets in a minute if people know what they're doing with them.
And even some gun rights Democrats suggest something has changed.
I'll defend the Second Amendment till my dying breath. They know that I'm a proud owner and I'm a lifetime member of the NRA with straight A ratings. I've always been, and I hope always will be. But I also have a responsibility to speak up and say, listen, come to the table. I want to hear both sides.
Of course, one group we have not yet heard from that much, George, are leaders of the Republican Party who have been so opposed to any regulations on guns in the past. We'll hear from them in the coming days as well.